Hey everybody, my name is Miss Edwards. In this video, we are going to focus on assessment. Yes, assessment. So you're posting assignments online or you're teaching synchronous lessons online and you want to check for student understanding. What do? Let's get into it. So I'm going to give you 6 ways that you can check for student assessment online. The first way to assess your students is to use the chats. The chats are my go-to strategy for assessment. It's a quick way to see what students understand. Also, more importantly, it's a low-stakes way for students to share their answers. I found that students who aren't as comfortable speaking in a whole class setting will gravitate more towards using the chat features. So how can you use chat? So some examples. You could pose a prompt or question for students to respond to. You could use a timer so that students could respond within a time period. There are some platforms that allow you to close a chat box or hold on the responses before everybody else sees them so that students are able to write their own answers and you get to see what they're thinking. You could also say, hey, I want a few responses in the chat and then we'll go over them once I've received a certain number. Number 2, discussions. So there are a few ways to have discussions online. One that's very common and that happens in in-person classes is the whole class discussion. They happen often and it's one way to hear from a few students. Sometimes it's a way to take the temperature, so to speak, of the class to see what they are thinking. However, small groups are also possible online. So breakout rooms. So prior to the mandated remote learning of 2020 and onwards, I hadn't heard of breakout rooms. And now it's something that's such a major force for synchronous learning. So breakout rooms are important because students could use the space to discuss their answers, seek confirmation from their peers or correction without the constant gaze of their teachers or the constant monitoring of their teachers. Some students prefer to speak in small groups as opposed to large groups. So number 3, collaborate boards and whiteboard. Collaborate boards and whiteboards are similar to chats, but I like to think of them as chats 2.0. They're great for brainstorming and for you to see what a student remembers about a topic. I generally use the collaborate boards in Nearpod or Jamboard and the whiteboards in Zoom. I also like them because students have an option to post their answers anonymously, and that's also a good way to get a sense of student understanding. So number 4 is Forms. Microsoft Forms and Google Forms are easy to create, and often I use them to create quizzes. You load the questions and the answers and they grade themselves, so it's easy for prep and grading. There's also options for students to write selected responses, and once they've done that, you can check their responses later as well. You can use the forms for a quick assessment during synchronous instruction. Another way to assess with forms in synchronous and asynchronous instructions is to gamify. I like to use Nearpod's Time to Climb and Kahoot. So number 5 is all about videos. So teaching really requires us to use various multimedia. Very helpful to incorporate the use of videos. There are some platforms like Edpuzzle and Nearpod that allow you to upload a video to those learning management systems and pick and choose where you want the video to stop and have the students answer a question about what happened before or what they anticipate will happen. So I like these types of assessments because you could pause at different parts of the video and assess comprehension with the multiple choice question, ask students to reflect, and write a constructed response. Number 6, student presentations. Student presentations are a great opportunity for teachers to assess students in research and their preparation for the presentation. Some platforms I like to use are PowerPoint, Google Slides, and they have user-friendly templates. I've also given students the option to create video presentations. I really like Adobe Spark videos, and they also have user-friendly templates. I have a story. At the beginning of the school year, I created an Adobe Spark video because we started remote and I wanted the students to get to know me through a video. I wanted the video to be an introduction to who I am. I had the idea to create a tutorial video that would guide the students on how to complete their own. And I assigned it and they did it and it was amazing. I hope this video helped. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next video.